An organization that's facing some major backlash across the country for blaming Israel for the Hamas terrorist invasion is also getting backing of two of America's largest teachers' unions. In fact, there are school districts across the country supporting Black Lives Matter into their own schools to provide teaching resources in the wake of the rising tension in the Middle East. And joining us this morning with more on this controversy is Alex Nestor with Parents Defending Education. Good morning, Alex. Great to see you.
Good morning.
First, BLM did send a statement that said in part, quote, the ongoing fight to teach truth in the U.S. must include Palestinian existence, resistance, culture, global contributions, and the ongoing struggle to realize a free Palestine. Now, this is after their Chicago chapter was forced to delete a picture on X of a Hamas terrorist paragliding into a music concert in Israel and killing hundreds of innocent people with the caption, "I stand with Palestine." So tell me what's happening here. Why are BLM chapters given the authority to give school resources about Palestine to teach, period?
Well, look, first of all, just want to say the statement is absolutely horrendous. And again, this statement follows what was the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. And this was their response. Parents need to remember this when their school hosts a Black Lives Matter week of action next year, or when their kids are taught in schools that Zionists are colonizer oppressors. In terms of how, BLM's even qualified to be in schools, I mean, short stories, they're not. Secondly, you have teachers who go to get their master's degrees at colleges and universities that push similar narratives on them. You also have, districts who, seeking to do some sort of Black Lives Matter week of action, will look for resources like what they have on their website. And look, this is how you get hordes of American college students who are rallying in support of Hamas and against Israel and the Jewish people.
And most parents do not even know there is this thing of BLM inside the schools. So give us some examples of where you're seeing this, who qualified them, and what the goal is.
Well, look, they're in schools to make kids activists, a full stop. And PDE and others, we've been trying to ring the alarm bell about this for a really long time. Again, the phrase Black Lives Matter sounds great, but when you scratch the surface, this is what they stand for. They are divisive. We've got a full resource on our website on the Black Lives Matter week of action with tons of different examples. But just to give a few, in Howard County, Maryland, you had kids learn the privileged versus oppressed wheel and worksheet. In Aurora, California, one of the BLM principles is trans and queer affirming. So there they had a drag queen story hour. Durham County Public Schools in North Carolina had a full Black Lives Matter month of action in which they peddled the BLM principles, which included replacing discipline with restorative justice. And again, the name sounds great, but once you scratch at the surface, all these principles, these do not belong in our schools.
You can see for yourself some of the resources for teaching also about Palestine on the BLM at School website, including topics I noticed like decolonizing Palestine. Tell us more about these resources and these activities, and do you know if students can opt out of participating?
Yeah, I think the thing that was really striking to me about specifically that Decolonize Palestine resource was that it said outright that they can use, any means necessary to, work against their oppressors, if you will, as they would say. BLM also has tons of resources like on liberated ethnic studies, which we know is one big way that anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism is being pushed in schools. And unfortunately, by the time that parents see what their kids are learning, sometimes it's too late. I mean, maybe you'll have a district announce they're doing a BLM week of action, but a lot of times, unfortunately, parents aren't made aware that this is going on in their schools until it's too late.
And very quickly, I just want to go back to something you said. You said that they can use any means necessary to fight back against their oppressors. Are those oppressors the Jewish people, Israelis? Who's the oppressor?
Unfortunately, they're not entirely clear. And that's another conversation, where we define, Jewish people versus Israel. You can criticize the Israeli government. That's, a mark of a free society. But unfortunately, there's another full question there as to, the necessity of Israel for the survival of the Jewish people.
Alex Nestor, great talking to you this morning with Parents Defending Education. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.